Hi, I'm Stephen Boyle. It's about quarter after 9 right now. Rain, yes, finally is coming its way in here. Let's look right now and see what's going on when it comes in terms of the rain. And you can see that right now there's a little bit of a band, and this one is actually starting to come fairly close to our region. I would say it's about 5 miles to our north. So, particularly if you live in this region, if you all want to know, this little line right in here, where the end of my mark is going, that's 291. So, it's pretty close to us, that little bit of rain. And this will kind of start spreading out a little bit. And then this is the stuff that we all are watching for later on this evening and into tonight and tomorrow. This will be probably the more intense rain, and this is kind of moving down in this direction. So we start talking about the rain really for tomorrow morning. These bands are kind of coming off from the main one. You can see how it kind of connects, and it's kind of coming down like this, and these are all just showers that are ahead of the main batch. And some of those showers could be a little intense. We could be talking about some kind of a bit of a heavy downpour into some of them. But other than that, nothing much is going on. Just a few little rain showers here and there. Nothing intense. So talking about the future here. Tonight we'll be dropping down into the 40s. Tomorrow we will be talking about we'll say low to mid 50s. Some regions could be hidden into the upper 50s, particularly if you live in Connecticut. And then as time moves its way onward, tomorrow night we'll be dropping down into the 30s and 40s. Could be some pretty cool weather if you live into the Heath region of Massachusetts. This region of Mass, it could be pretty intense cold tomorrow night. 35 in Keene and 39 in Greenfield, so you can see that it will be some pretty cold conditions, much colder than what we've been dealing with lately. Whoops. And then this is for Monday, and you can see that things start cooling its way down here. You can see the lower 50s, low to mid 50s will be highs. I would generally say if you live south of the Mass Pike is where you'll get the mid 50s. If you live north of the Pike, we'll say lower 50s. Lower 50s if you live north of the Pike. Even some upper 40s, and you can see that in Keene, and then up into the Heath region yet again. Pretty cold. Greenfield, pretty cool. So this will be much cooler than what we're used to for Monday. Monday night, yeah. Pretty intense frosts and freezes. We're talking about teens and 20s. Teens and 20s. We're talking mid-20s south of the Pike, upper 20s also. North of the Pike, we're going to be talking about upper teens, lower 20s, a few regions hit into the mid-20s, but it's going to be cold. Get your winter gear ready. It's going to be cold Monday night. Tuesday will be cool. We'll be talking about low to mid-40s, lower 50s if you're south of the Pike, upper 40s to around 50 degrees south of the Pike. If you live along and north of the Pike, I would say primarily low to mid 40s will be your primary temperature. Tuesday night temperatures yet again drop to the freezing mark. Maybe Hatfield being above that, but generally lots of frosts and freezes around here. Wednesday, we'll say low to mid 50s. And then, of course, Wednesday night, temperatures drop down into the 40s because there will be an approaching system. Now, this is when things start getting a little interesting. If you live generally in northern Worcester County, and particularly in through western portions of Hamden, Hampshire, and Franklin counties, and particularly the Heath region yet again, there could be some snows and some mixtures of precipitations. Some of the models are actually indicating maybe a code-in for a whole entire region. Actually, code-ins were indicated on some of the models throughout this whole entire region. That's code-in. We're not talking a foot, but we are talking about potential code-ins, and especially if you live in through this region of Mass that I'm shading right now, in New Hampshire and regions like that. So if you live into that region, I would just be A little careful. There could be some slick spots, particularly Thursday morning. Thursday during the day, we'll talk about mid to upper 50s. The good weather, the warmest spots will be south of the Mass Pike. 60-degree marks will be very sparse. They will be very infrequent. So don't get your hopes up on that. If you live north of the Pike, I would generally say we'll talk about mid 50s in general. Mid 50s along and north of the Pike. Thursday night, temperatures drop back yet again to around the freezing mark. And then for Friday, we could be potentially talking about yet again some mid to upper 50s, a few spots reaching the lower 50s. And yet again, the most intense of the warm will be south of the Pike. The coast could stay, particularly the Cape, could stay a little cool. Because of the sea breeze. And then we're talking Friday night, we'll be dropping yet again down around freezing. So the frost will be really intense this week. Really, if you have any plants that have came up, yeah, I think it's going to be pretty much done. It's going to be April around here. Late March, early April, we could even be talking about some winter weather in here. So this sorts of stuff is not done, folks. You can see by the time we reach Saturday, you can see generally mid 50s north of the Pike, and then yet again the mid to upper 50s south of the Pike. So that's what's going on around here. Cooler weather. We're really going to be heading back to reality here. Many of us are kind of in the summer time frame. We're kind of in that haze here. Yeah, no, it's over with. It's all done. You can see there's that intense cool down that's going to be coming in here by the beginning of this week. It kind of works its way out of here by Wednesday, and by Thursday we are watching the potential chance, and this is one of the models I'm looking at. You can see here's a couple of storm systems off our coast. Now, if this is going to actually happen, can see there's that freezing mark, and actually if you look here, it's practically in through central Connecticut. It goes more like that. There could be some issues where we talk about some codons in our region. That's where I'm getting my where I'm getting my idea of maybe a few codons or inches, or about an inch or two well to our north, and into portions of Maine and New Hampshire. They could be getting a few 3 to potentially 5 inches up there. Wouldn't be surprised about that. Then you can sort of see the trough looks to be pretty intense in our region. There will be times where it kind of lifts its way out of here and then kind of comes back in. But overall, I think the general consensus is generally cooler into our region. The GFS is going really intense on some warm weather that's going to come in here. I don't see that to be happening. The GFS I'm just not showing because they're kind of going a little overboard with their findings. But we'll have to see how it goes about. They could be right. There's that intense cool down. Then there's going to be, for later on in the week, there's that other intense cool down. And yes, they're one of the models that aren't on here. They do show that there's still some chances of some snows around here. So we're going to keep you posted on everything. So yes, there is still snow possible. I would say that there is a good 3 shots at some snows. Now, the first one is for this week, which it would be to our north. That would be generally into northern New England, where the good stuff would be coming in. We would be talking about anywhere between 3 to 5 inches for them. Down here, I would talk about maybe more along the lines of a codon into a few select regions, but overall, that wouldn't be a major thing. Then the last 2 are for April, and that's the first couple weeks of April. The first one would be coming in the first few days of April, and then the second one would be coming in around the 8th to the 9th time period, maybe as far out as the 15th. Those are my general 2 primary concerns. I will be watching them for you. Right now, the first one, actually for both of them, they both seem like 6 inches into the Boston region wouldn't be out of the question. Our region, obviously, more snow because guess what? We're to the west and we're cooler than Boston oftentimes and things like that. So, however, just to be on the safe side, I'll say plowable snows are a potential. So we'll keep you posted. Things will update as time moves its way onward. And I will generally have to, these things will generally be ironed out as time moves its way forward. But, April will be much, much more of an, it will be much different for us this upcoming month because, first of all, it's an even and out process. And I mentioned this on my website. It's just an even and out process that we have to go through in order for things to be around average. We had so much warm, so much, so little precipitation that things have just generally been terrible around here. We have barely had any. This is the best that we've gotten in a while, and when it comes in terms of rains. So, there's gonna be a really, the way how Mother Nature is going about this is it's gonna be generally a process. This week is gonna be neutral, and then we start getting into the little bit more intense stuff the first couple weeks of April, and then we'll kind of even things out by the middle part. And because the evening out has really done its job here. The best way I can explain it, it's almost like it's almost like combining two chemicals together. That first initial reaction that you get is very intense. How long that initial reaction lasts, it's kind of hard to say. It depends upon the chemicals, right? Some of the reactions last longer and take longer to do. Some of them take only a split second or a few seconds. So it depends, okay? And how Mother Nature wants to go about this evening out process will be only in due time. And that's that kind of relating weather to chemistry is really it's a scientific law that's essentially in effect for not only meteorology but for chemistry and other types of science as well. So that's essentially the best way I can describe this upcoming these next few weeks, and actually April as a whole is essentially, it's almost like two chemicals going all out and making a big old reaction. So that's what's going on here. Stay tuned. We'll give you updates. Have a great rest of your Saturday. And I'm not sure if I'll be back tomorrow because it's Sunday, but if I am, then I'll be back giving you an update. If I'm not, well, have a great Sunday as well. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone. Take care.